I studied for being a music teacher, and I'm always being a little bit ambitious. Let's move to Kraków to start in the corporation world, like from zero. I wake up in the morning and a month already thinking like, okay, what is the next steps in my career? Right now I'm delivering projects, more focused in IT projects. Here you can move to one career to another. What is the Spanish dream?
The Spanish dream is working for the government. Actually.
Exactly. There is this perception of Spanish people being lazy. I'm tired of that because I've been working with a lot of Spanish people and they're like extremely proactive. Like they really want to improve. In my experience, if you have somebody at work that is engaged, it's gonna be a better work. I already have published a song. If somebody wants to go and check, the band name is Rai Tango, and it's my first song. It's in Spanish, but I thought that it could be a fun idea to create an indie rock band. Poland has become one of the economies that grow the most in the European Union because of the corporation. You can make a career. You can actually make good money working in Poland, and everybody was going to Germany for jobs.
Yeah.
Now it's Poland.
How are you?
Good, fine.
Yeah. How these days are going so far?
Can't complain. Everything is going good.
Yeah.
I can complain about the weather, but this is already a normal thing in Poland. So.
Okay, so tell me, who are you? What are you doing here? Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Borja. I'm from Spain, from Cartagena, a small beautiful city in the southeast of Spain. Been here in Poland 8 years and a half, approximately. What am I doing here? What am I doing here in Poland, right? Or here in this podcast?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you tell me.
No, I'm in Poland. I'm basically working. I came here for work, but I like it so far. Like as I said, like I've been almost 9 years living in Poland, which when I look back is like what the actual, you know.
It was 2016, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I was not expecting to stay that long. I mean, like I was not expecting nothing. Just came for working reasons.
Tell me about it. You didn't expect anything.
No, I don't remember when I moved here. I remember, okay, I was in Spain. So a little bit about me. Like I studied for being a music teacher. Actually, in Spain, I was a music teacher, like primary school music teacher. And I worked there like for around 4 or 5 years as a music teacher. But the thing with the music teacher is, first, it's difficult to get a job that is stable in Spain, or at least it was for me. And the second thing is like once that you're a music teacher, there are not much that you can do in terms of growth. I mean, like you can be better at being a teacher, which is great. But, you know, I'm always being a little bit ambitious. So at some point I saw myself like, okay, I have achieved that. I still have time to do other things. I always if I don't want something new, I always can come back to being a music teacher because I have the degree and experience. But let's try something new. And then there was this opportunity of job in Poland. And back in the day, I was like my partner was a Polish girl. And said, okay, let's move to Kraków to start in the corporation world, like from zero. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have any expectations. I just said, hey, it's a new, exciting adventure. Let's see how it goes. And here I am.
And
9 years later.
Yes, exactly. A long time, actually. Do you consider yourself someone who will you like challenges and changing things in your life very often, or more like it was a one-time thing?
No, I love changes. I don't know, I get bored of things pretty easily. So that's why I need jobs that keep me very active mentally, or activities that keep me active mentally. Because I don't know, life it's very complex and I like to experience different things and so on. So for me, like having a challenge is like a drive. So, you know, it's like I wake up in the morning and a month already thinking like, okay, what is the next steps in my career? How am I planning? So I have a lot of plans. And obviously a lot of plans fail, but it's part of what I do. Like I like to make a lot of plans, out of 10 plans to go ahead, but I'm very, very happy with that.
You told me that you came actually without any plan or anything, but you decided to come to Poland. Why you made the decision for precisely Poland? What was something that grew, something in you?
I already knew Krakow because I was in the city a couple of times, like for vacation, and I saw the city and I liked it. It's big enough.
Before 2016, yeah? Okay.
I already came like a couple of times or 3 times to Krakow. I love the city. To be honest, I was looking for a job in Sweden. Sorry, because I had a friend back in the day. A friend was living in Sweden, and she had a cool job in a corporation and was making good money. And some time ago, like I was living in Finland for 1 year. I did my Erasmus in Finland, so I kind of like the Nordic countries and so on. And so my idea was to be there in Sweden. But I didn't find anything in Sweden, and there was this opportunity in Krakow. It was kind of funny because it was basically these kind of things in the universe, like like a series of coincidences that are happening. So the last time I visited Krakow, I went to this kind of like exchange, English exchange club, like you're speaking with other expats and so on. And they add me to their Facebook group. And then at some point in this group, somebody was posting the job offer. And as I said, I was looking for a job in Sweden, but I said like, okay, nothing is happening in Sweden.
Why not?
Like, I'm gonna try this job in Poland. Boom. They contacted me, they did interviews, say like, yeah, we will hire you, but you need to be here in 2 weeks. I was like, fuck it.
Okay, that's good. And because you're from Cartagena, right? Correct. I mean, it's a very specific place. I mean, it's very, very like a characteristic place, not specific, characteristic place. Do you miss something from there?
Yeah, first the weather. Like every year, it becomes like more difficult to be here in winter. I miss like the Mediterranean lifestyle when basically during the whole year you go out. And you are like, even though it's winter, you can go to a terrace and enjoy a beer and tapas, and you cannot do that here, right? So I miss that. Food, I miss the food. Yeah. So a little bit like the weather, the lifestyle, and the food. Obviously, I miss it a lot. So yeah.
So how Spanish guy can adapt to Poland actually? I mean, at that time, because you didn't. It was more easy. Was easy? It was complicated for you?
No, it was easy. I mean, I never had a problem with adapting because, as I mentioned before, I was living in Finland, so I already knew what is to live somewhere else.
Yeah, and especially cold.
Yeah? Especially cold. So, and I'm very open-minded, and I have like one feature I like about myself is like I always see the bright side. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I always try to switch my perspective to what is the positive of what I'm living now. So I always thought like if I'm in Poland and I'm thinking all the time about the good things that I don't have from Spain, then I'm not enjoying neither the Spanish things, not the Polish ones. So when I'm in Poland, I try to switch like what are all the good things that I get in Poland. Like I have a group of friends here. I have met a lot of like nice people. There is a lot of activities that Krakow is giving. And besides that, the job market is great. So I'm very, very happy to be where I am right now.
Yeah, I want to talk about the job market now, especially because you've been, you got a really successful career in IT, right? I mean, you still are operations manager, right?
Right now, I'm a delivery manager. But I've been in operations for most of my career. Right now, I'm delivering projects. It's kind of like a blend because still I'm running some operational parts in my job, but it's more, let's say, project focused. Right now, it's a little bit of a switch, so I need to deal with less people in my daily operation. In my previous job, I was at some point dealing with a span of like 200 people. Right now it's a little bit less, but right now I'm more focused in IT projects and so on. Yeah.
What do you think about the career growth in Poland market actually?
It's a great opportunity right now to be in Poland. I mean, like now it's decelerating a little bit, But in the past 9 years, it's what I call the anomaly. I call it the anomaly because it's
Abnormal things, yeah?
yeah. Like because you're from Spain as well. In Spain, work is a little bit different. Like finding a job and so on is a little bit like complicated. But then when I arrived to Poland, I think that the unemployment rate was extremely low. And you could see like people was quitting one job without having nothing because everybody was totally certain that they will find a job the next day.
Yeah.
Almost like literally the next day. Better job, better conditions, because this is what I call the anomaly. There was a lot more job than actually prepared people. And that was good for
What's good for you, actually. Yeah.
For everybody who wanted to take the chance. And a lot of people grew a lot. Because, for example, in terms of leadership, there was like this part where like there were like no good candidates, so the companies were giving chances to people without this kind of like skill set. Sometimes good chances, sometimes these people were failing, but this is another topic, right?
Yeah.
So the Polish market has decelerated a little bit to become something normal. Now, like whoever is living in this kind of like, or whoever started working in this anomaly is seeing that like as something catastrophic, like, oh, Poland, it's so difficult to get a job. And
yeah, you have to wait like 3 months or something like that.
Exactly.
I mean, like, what the hell? I mean, in
like,
Spain, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you actually, it's impossible. In my opinion, it's impossible to change career in Spain.
It's extremely difficult. Here you can move to one career to another because I started from zero in a corporate world. My education has nothing to do with what I'm doing, but I grew to learn all that stuff through my career. In Spain, we have this kind of like title fever.
Yeah.
If you don't have the title, like in Spain, I would not even consider myself to apply for a.
Yeah, it's, for example, you can be very fluent in English, but without any degree or something like that, and people will ask you for that, right?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because you can be very fluent, but if you don't have a title, it doesn't matter. And then the opposite, if you have a title but you don't speak shit, so you get the job.
Yeah,
because in Spain, having the title is so important. I don't know if this is something that is changing right now, but for example, in Spain, I will not even apply to a job in a corporation because I know I don't have like business related
MBA or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will be automatically discarded. While in Poland was a great chance to start a new path and learn from the field. This is how I learned all my skills. Like I learned it because I started from zero. I became a team leader, then an operational manager, then a delivery manager, and years and years of experience. And for me, it works. And unfortunately in Spain, no. So yeah,
I guess other countries as well. But yeah, I mean, talking about this, you mentioned before that the jobs market in Poland is more wider, more like accessible, let's say. What opportunities do you think Spain could learn from Poland, for example?
Well, that's
besides the degrees and everything.
No, I mean, like the first thing is to be more flexible because this is a problem in Spain, and we are like very close-minded in like the traditional ways and so on. We need to get up to speed with the rest of Europe in terms of work possibilities. Like, for example, I know many friends that are working in this kind of corporate job, but their bosses will not even think about like work from home. Even like, in Spain, like my friends, they're like happy if they get like 1 day per week work from home.
And here is kind of like actually the company asking you actually if you can work from home. Yeah.
Here, like kind of like unless specifics, 3 days you work from home is kind of a normal thing.
Well, we're talking about office job, right? Yeah. Because I mean.
But anyways, like in the end, it's this kind of like mentality that because things were on a specific way, we don't think why things are changing. Because if you can do your job from home, why not? I mean, like, and as a company, if you offer that, you will make your employees happier and so on. And I think that in Spain still there is this mentality, like if you're happy at work, is that you're not working. You're lazy.
Will you say that is true or not, this statement? In Spain, or I mean, I don't know how to put it, but one of these countries are more ambitious than the other one. Let's say, for example, Polish people or Polish market in general, or the attitude is more ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, this is a perception. I don't say that this is the reality, but this is my perception.
Okay.
So it's an opinion.
Yeah, obviously we are talking about, like, we don't have the numbers here,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, but it's an opinion because you've been here for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Also, you were dealing with a lot of people at the same time. No,
What is the Spanish dream?
the Spanish dream is working for the government. Actually.
Exactly. It's to be a civil worker for the government.
At least was some time ago.
This is like people from a generation, mostly their parents, they were saying to him like, you have to become a civil worker for the government. And then the reasons, because once that you pass the exam, you can do whatever you want. They cannot kick you out of work.
Yeah, you have a job forever. Yeah,
Yeah, you have a
good pension also, I guess.
you have a decent salary, but you are there, and the point is you can do whatever you want. They cannot fire you. Okay, let's analyze that. So basically what you want to do is to what? Like get something. You don't want to be productive. You know?
Yeah, you want to the safest way to pass something. Yeah.
And
To cheat the system. A little bit.
and if I'm a entrepreneur that is trying to generate money, why would I want this kind of people? So if somebody, this is like wide generalization. Okay?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But if I'm an entrepreneur, I don't want to go to a country where the dream is, I'm gonna give a job to somebody, and then when they get enough protected by the laws, then I'm gonna stop working.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's not the case. Like let's make very clear, because I think that as well. This is a generalization, but now I'm gonna switch a little bit the things, because as well there is this perception of Spanish people being lazy, and I'm very against that. I'm tired of that, because I've been working with a lot of Spanish people in all the companies, and obviously I'm Spanish and I'm a little bit biased. But I want to break a little bit like this thing. Like for example, right now in my company, I'm working with Spanish people, and they're like extremely proactive. Like they really want to improve the system and so on. So this kind of like mentality maybe is changing. There is this thing, like it's true that there is this mentality in wider Spain of the Spanish dream being something, but at the same time, Spanish people is changing, and it's not like this. But the system is a little bit like this.
Yeah.
So coming back, I think that we're drifting away a little bit, but Spain can learn a lot on flexibility in trying to motivate workers to feel part of the business. Because in the end, in my experience, if you have somebody at work that is engaged, it's going to be a better worker. It's going to give 120% more. And engagement, you create that by making them part of the business, not asking them as well what they want. Like for example, this working from home, how many hours people is wasting in commuting?
Yeah.
Like why? Like when it's necessary, I understand that you're working in something that actually requires you to be there. There is no brainer. But when it's something like you're in the office and you're thinking, I could do that from my home because the only thing I need is Wi-Fi connection and this computer, this laptop. And instead of being in my house, I'm here and I have to be 8 hours here. Out of 8 hours, I'm sorry, in no job, 8 hours are fully productive.
No.
You are lucky if everybody is productive 5 hours. And it's because like our brain cannot be productive for longer. I'm sorry, the 8 hours shift is stupid.
Yeah.
So when you're at home, at least you can be productive these hours. And then the rest of the time, you can take your little breaks, or maybe you can do a laundry, these small things. But then when it finishes, you don't need to commute. And commuting for some people is like 2 hours. So think about that. I remember in one of the jobs I had, I was living a little bit far from the office, and commuting was 1 hour going, 1 hour coming back. So for me, the working shift, I was counting 10 hours because it's 10 hours that I'm invested at work. including commuting.
Yeah.
The trick that I did is like, I decided to go by bike because at least in my mind, this time of commuting was sport time.
Yeah.
It was not like being in the tram or in the bus, like this. So at least I tricked my brain to say like, I'm gonna go by bike, and at least this hour, I'm not giving it to work, I'm giving it to myself because I'm doing some sport for my health.
Yeah. Trying to see the positive things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But instead of that, if you have like the work from home possibility, you are less time. Like, and I'm speaking about Kraków, that it's, decent public system and so on. But in Spain, I know people that they need to take the car and commute like 1 hour by car and back.
Yeah.
You're risking, you're risking your life, no, but if you do on a weekly basis, 2 hours per day, 10 hours extra of car when you are tired and so on, risk of accidents is bigger. Then traffic jams.
Yeah. More pollution.
How many things
Yeah.
you can fix if you only think, can this work be done at home?
Yeah.
That's it. So this is one thing, like obviously, this is a very small example, but I'm talking about the general flexibility that, for example, in Poland, companies are really like worried about trying to make the employee engaged or happy, because in the time of the anomaly, they needed to do that because otherwise the employee will say, okay, I don't like this company, go to the next one.
Well, that's a good thing about the job market and the company, the big companies and stuff. It's just a system that it's healing itself, right? Just it's looking for ways. It's like capitalism, right? A little bit like it's trying to fix itself to do that. Okay, so what will be your advice, let's say, for someone who wants to come here in terms of corporate job or he wants to ambitious? Trying to remember the same profile as you had when you were coming here in 2016.
So if somebody would like to start a new career and is somebody ambitious and so on, my advice is learn to work smart. Like, forget about work hard or a lot. I'm totally, this is a little bit counterintuitive, or, somebody that can listen to me can think like, we will always listen this, you need to put a lot of hours to work. I think that this is not good, and especially in the times that we're living. I think that the key thing is work smart. Work smart means understand what is the key of your work and what are the 3-4 things that are really important for your work, for your boss, for example. This is a little bit like, this Pareto rule, this 20-80 rule, where Pareto rule says like 80% of the outcome depends on 20% of the effort. So identify what is this 20% and put your 80% of energy in this 20%, and then you will be successful with less effort. Because I have seen a lot of people that is ambitious, but they don't know how to manage this kind of thing, and they will do 120% and then get frustrated because they don't get the results that they want. Because it's not about spread too thin around many tasks. It's about, if you're, for example, in a corporate job, you have a boss. Understand what are the pain points of your boss and work on them. Because in the corporate world, there is always something else to be done, especially in a big companies. The work is infinite.
Yeah,
There is
if you want,
never- There is never a moment in which your work will be done.
Yeah.
So don't try to do everything, but try to do what is very important. I think that this is the main key I will say to people, that you don't need to be like, there will be moments depending on your job in which you will need to put a lot of hours. But I don't believe that in this profile, like I'm working 12 hours per day and this is how you get success. No, success in my case comes from understanding what is the key elements of the work, what is the most important thing, and put all my effort in the 3-4 things that I know that are important for my manager, for the manager of my manager, for the company in general, and so on. And then this makes you first less frustrated, because actually you're not putting effort in fields that are useless. This is something that I have seen a lot, like people that, oh, but I did this project. Who asked you for that? No, but I thought like, yeah, this is not important right now. You spend like, I don't know, 15 hours in a week in something that leads nowhere.
Yeah.
And then you're complaining because nobody's recognizing that, but actually nobody asked for that.
Yeah.
And people think like, oh, if I do that, no, first understand what is needed. And you don't need to put like 15 hours per day.
Yeah.
Like, at least this is not the way I do things. And I don't want, this is what I teach when I lead teams. Because we come back to what we spoke in the other, like before, right? Like productive time, 5 hours per day. The other time is time for emails or for something that it doesn't like make some meetings or so on. But productive, I don't think that you can be more than 4 or 5 hours productive in a day. So, yeah.
It's very interesting what you said, because you at the same time you told me that you are a creative person. Also, you have you were doing podcasts, you were doing YouTube channel. Also, you have a band. Like it's not it's like how do you combine those things with your job actually? Because you were actually, it's two sides, right? I mean, the very rational and a corporate job and just how to build your career and everything, but then I'm going to break with my band, I'm going to do a podcast, I'm going to do a YouTube. Tell me, how do you combine those things?
I don't know. It's again, it's time management. If you have like first in terms of time, if you have good time management skills, then you can combine everything, because the day is long. And like when people tells me like, yeah, I don't have time, and I say like, yeah, you don't have time. Like think about how much time you spend on social media. Remove that time.
Yeah.
How much time you spend doing Netflix. Remove that time. So in the end, it's a prioritization of task. Mm-hmm. If you really analyze with a critical thinking your time, there is time for a lot of things. And then in terms of organization, I have a lot of projects, but it's true that I don't work in all the projects at the same time with the same intensity.
Okay.
So this is something like, it's true that I'm very creative in the matter. I'm just like, there are so many opportunities and I want to do everything.
Yeah.
But obviously you cannot do everything at the same time. There are moments that I try different projects and then some projects fall behind and I cherry pick some of them. I never say that I fail. There's like my as well another personal trick that I have, like, because people can think, oh, you have failed in so many things. Because I did a YouTube channel.
Well,
it's top. But in my mind, I never see everything as a failure. I say like, no, it's something that in the moment I didn't want to keep working on that, but maybe I will pick it in the future when I have more insights.
Yeah.
And I always have this mentality, because I think that it's very important the way that you speak to you. If you say, oh, I made this YouTube channel and in 3 months I didn't get the results I want, I failed. I think that you are like telling yourself like something very negative and this affects you. But if you reframe and say like, okay, it didn't get me the results I want right now, I will park this project and maybe in 2 months or 6 years, I will take it again, because this is something that it has happened in my life. Like one project, I try to do something today, it doesn't work. And suddenly 2 years later, I met the right person, or I find the right conditions, and suddenly this project makes sense in a different context, and it's like, wait, boom.
Yeah.
And so you open all that things and so on. So this is the way that I kind of organize my time, because it's true that I have a lot of projects, but I don't put the same effort to all the projects at the same time. I switch projects, I iterate, leave it, learn, come back, and I try that the projects get fueled one by other. For example, I have this band when I play bass and we do covers, and I wanted to learn some low-code, no-code programming. So I mixed that and I created an application for scheduling rehearsals with the band. So because that what motivates you. You learn something so you can combine your projects to motivate you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of true that what you said about the failure stuff, right? I mean, I guess people tends to overuse this word as failure. I mean, because also they have a different approach, I will say, for different things. I mean, for example, I don't know, we're doing this podcast or we are doing a YouTube channel or you do whatever you want to do. It's not because you expect a big reward from that. I think it's also because you expect to learn something. You want to use it as a side things for what is your main life. With time, with luck and everything, maybe it will be bigger or something or more successful, I would say, which is successful is like, I don't know, is all these words that is a little bit overused and people get frustrated very easy and because they got also a lot of influence from social media and something like that. You're like, oh, you're a failure, a loser. And it's not. I mean, we are in this world, I think, to fail, to try and to do things.
I mean, like, you know that you fail. The project finished when you die.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
Game
the
over.
meantime, you always can, instead of saying like I'm closing this, I'm just parking that. So that's you never fail because this is a little bit like come from this kind of like simplification of stoicism.
Yeah.
And I like this concept of the dichotomy of control. I think that when I learned that, my life changed and
For good.
became better.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Because it's like, think about what you can control and what can you not control. And you mentioned something very important, is the social media and the success. Most of people measure success by external factors. External factors that you cannot control. So that's a very big recipe for frustration.
Like, for example, number of views or like people who are following you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I understand that this is important. This is a way of, but if you can measure your success in things that you can control as how can I make things better? Or as you said, like for me, it's very important when I start a project, my goal is not to, reach being famous or something like that, but it's to learn. Let's see what this project can teach me.
Yeah.
And in many occasions in my life, things that I learned in one random project was actually the key for success in a totally different thing. One example, when I was in Cartagena, I was president, I founded with some friends, and I was president of this organization like ESN, like Exchange Student Network. Basically, it's an organization that helps international students or Erasmus, basically like making cultural events, organizing parties, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. All this experience was very good now when I'm organizing projects, because I could learn in a low pressure environment a lot of skills that now for work are very important, like managing teams, managing deadlines, adapt to when something doesn't go well, and so on. So the thing that we were speaking is about like success and what you can control, right? If you switch your point of view in life and try to focus mostly on the things that you can control, then I don't say that frustration disappears, but it gets reduced. Because then you liberate yourself, you free yourself from all the views, the likes. Everybody likes to have likes.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be the main goal, right? It's just to the content, and if you're happy with doing it, on if you're like satisfied that you're learning things, right?
For example, like one thing that I'm doing right now, like a mini project that I have, I want to keep my LinkedIn profile active, keep
like posting things and just getting like activity there. Yeah?
So I decide to post a post every day with a picture. Like, it doesn't take a lot of time, but my target is not, or my way of success, I don't set it in how many people is going to like it or comment on that. My success metric is do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Just do it every day. Be consistent. Be constant, and then in 1 month you decide if you want to keep it up or you want to stop doing that, or you want to improve it, or I'm not doing it with any kind of like expectation. I'm doing it because it's a repository of my own thoughts, and it gives me, I consume a lot of podcasts, so it gives me as well, like it helps me to be more attentive to podcasts, because then I'm always thinking, okay, what can I post tomorrow? And I'm listening, suddenly one expert in finance saying something that it calls my attention, I automatically stop, I take a note, and I know like tomorrow I'm going to talk about that. And it's good because when I come back to my own LinkedIn page, I have a repository of my thoughts, and it's interesting. And if I continue that, and at some point it becomes something that people like see is useful and wants to follow it, top notch. If not, still I'm happy, I'm satisfied because I'm consistent with myself. So
I want to talk about this. I mean, this word you mentioned. I mean, about like it's not. It's very like dangerous word. I would say content creator, right? Yeah, it's like content creator is kind of like also overused and yeah. But I guess you can define yourself as a content creator somehow because you're posting things, you're doing content. What drives you to do this? I mean, what is the thing that because you don't need, I mean, to have success in your life or anything. If you want to, it's because you want to share things, or we want to. What's the motivation for you to do that?
There are like two motivations. Like let's be honest here. Like there is the most like typical motivation that I think that every content creator will have is actually getting this hit from the internet. Everybody likes the likes. Let's say this attention. But actually the main one, I'm not going to remove this egoistical part, you know, it's there, but it's not the main thing. The main thing is because I think that I have learned so many things in my career, and I would like to help people to speed up their processes and so on. I really, every time that I do something, I learn something. And first, it's good for me because I can condensate my own learnings and I can go back to my own learnings. So I always pay attention of what I'm learning. But as well, if this can help somebody, because I think that when part of my previous job was to teach, to coach people or to show path to some people. And I'm happy that some people that I actually prepare for interviews and so on, they manage to get jobs and so on. So I'm happy about that. It makes me feel realized. So I like to share that learning. I think that it's, why not?
Yeah.
With this information, it doesn't take much time from me. And if some friend or somebody that's following can take one of my learnings and then at some point tell me, hey, you helped me. I think that this is where like real happiness, real purpose of life is if you can help other people. This sounds like very cheesy, but I think that it is true. If somebody comes to you and say, because of you, I managed to improve my life 5%, I think that your life is already worth it.
Did it happen to you? Someone? Yeah.
And it's like the best. And I'm not speaking like about, you know, huge audience or something, like maybe a friend that at some point was in need of advice or something, and I gave my personal experience, and somebody told me, yeah, because you told me that, I remember what you said, and I did it, and it was good for me. No, it makes the world. It's an amazing feeling, and then it makes you feel like, dude, you changed somebody's life for better.
Yeah.
And if we all will do that, imagine like the life that we will live in.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect. It's beautiful and it's very rewarding. Like I don't deny this part of ego again. That when you feel that because of you somebody improved, you get like this amazing feeling inside of you. So this is my reason. And if I can share my content, and obviously it will be fantastic and a dream. If at some point I can reach like to thousands of people and help a lot of people, good. But if I can help one,
that's enough. Yeah.
Good enough. Like already, it's what I think. Like if through your life you can already help one person, it's already worth it.
Yeah. You've been here for a long time, 9 years. I consider this quite a long time. Yeah. How you managed to actually to create connections with other expats and also locals. I mean, I guess, yeah.
Through hobbies and activities. I think that, like there are like speaking clubs, like for languages, or music, there are jam sessions, or having the band, and then you get into communities of musicians, or business clubs, all that stuff. You get into small communities. And I found that Krakow is a very friendly environment for communities. I never had a problem to mix up with locals or expats.
Yeah, I mean,
there are like thousands of opportunities in the city.
Because you mentioned before that you were creating in Krakow, you were creating different events like language exchange, also business meetings and friends groups and everything. I guess it's also is coming. I guess this energy or this need to create those things is also. Is the same energy that it gives you to create content? Yes. Or do you think it's something is useful for you to meet people here?
I like meeting people. and the thing is, like, sometimes I think when there is something that I'm looking for and it doesn't exist, so I will create it. So for example, I don't know, this kind of like business meeting, there are business meetings in Krakow, but I wanted something more tailored to what I wanted. So I decided, I have the opportunity. So I created this kind of business meeting that it was active for a while, and it was nice. So I met a lot of people through this club, and it was very nice. But yeah, the motivation, I don't know, the motivation is to connect with people, because connections are very important. You need to be in the world, and you never know who of your connection can have an opportunity for you, like to grow or just to have fun, like just because like to be honest, I think that I got more reward in terms of pure friendship than in like business, which is amazing as well. Like the fact that I can, because of these groups, I can meet with new friends and expand my circle and see other perspectives, and I think that this is what makes you grow.
Yeah, I have I'm going recently I discovered this group in Krakow, is a Practical Philosophy Club.
Nice.
And it's really good because it's not intended to be very technical in terms of like philosophy. It's more about like different topics and different people talking about that, and it's very interesting, especially when you want to practice, for example, your own thoughts and your own speech, because sometimes we tend to talk like the other one will actually understand exactly what we're talking, right?
Yeah.
And especially you want to talk with someone who you don't know.
Yeah.
Because for friends or something, maybe they can understand you. They know how you are and everything. And I think it's kind of like, it was very interesting. It's very interesting, actually. I mean, did you see, because after you created many events and many different things, had you been able to actually to see some changes or the affect the dynamics in different people on there? I mean, people change their idea about Poland or being here?
I don't know, like if, to be honest, I don't know, like if this changed anything in people or so on.
In the community, no?
Maybe, but like the thing, like what I did was not very impactful, like to be honest. But I think that already in Krakow there is this dynamic of going. That's the thing. I cannot speak for the whole Poland, but I know Krakow for being a like very open-minded place. Like people already, when they come here, they have already this dynamic in their brain. Like this is a very friendly space. Like this is one thing that I would like to, for example, imagine that somebody is listening to this and is thinking, I'm afraid to go to Krakow because I'm an expat. This is a very friendly place for an expat.
My next question actually is related with that. Do you think, for example, in your events, on all the events that you were hosting but also attending, were more majority of expats or more locals or half, or like, how do you think it's like integrating this?
It's a mix. I think that the expat community is full of Polish people because Polish people are good in languages.
Yeah.
And they like practicing their English or their Spanish or their Italian or whatever. But in general, the events that I've been attending or creating, they had a big number of Russian-speaking people, people from Belarus or Ukraine. There's a huge community here, and they're like very social.
Yeah, especially after the war, right?
Especially after the war, and then they look for community and so on. Polish people as well. And then other nationalities, I think that Spanish people or Spanish-speaking people, I would say, not only Spanish.
Yeah, because they're Latinos and
Exactly, like there are a lot of like Colombian people, Argentinian, and so which is amazing. Actually, I love it because I'm very used to have a multicultural environments. I think that they're like very rich. So whenever there is this, and I see like how in this space they're mixing like Greek people, Polish people, Ukrainian people. Like people from everywhere in the world. It's very nice. So yeah, I would say like expat community in Krakow. I don't say like an isolated thing out of the community.
Yeah.
Polish people integrate into that, so it's a little bit more blended. Yeah.
And talking about Polish people, you mentioned that it's not a secret. Polish language is really difficult language. Yeah. It's kind of like it's challenging. It's not easy, especially for Spanish speakers. I think it's kind of like very confusing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, as you mentioned, it's expat friendly, right? I mean, they don't expect. What's your experience? Do you have any experience about people expecting you to speak Polish?
No, I think that my general experience, and it's the experience I have had with a lot of people, is like Polish people kind of like understand that their language is complicated. Mm-hmm. So they are not expecting you to speak it. However, if you make an effort, they will be very happy. Yeah. Even though if you speak shit like I do, I try to go to the supermarket and try to do that in Polish, like basic stuff and so on. And you see how they really appreciate that you're trying. They try to understand you. They are not like, and I don't know, they really like make an effort to understand you. So they're like the general experience with Polish people is like they're very thankful. Yeah. They're very appreciative if you try to speak Polish, but they're not criticizing you if you don't try. At least in Krakow, most people speak English. Maybe like people over 40, 45, not that much. A lot of people, they're good in English, but they feel ashamed about speaking, which is stupid because they speak very good English. Like most of the Polish people I know, they speak like really good English. But that's the thing, like the experience is that they don't expect you to speak Polish, but if you do, they will be happy. So if there is anybody that comes here and wants to learn the language, don't be afraid because Polish people are going to be super friendly to try to speak to you. Yeah.
Do you remember any funny story about the language or something like that? Not necessarily funny, but kind of like weird or like gave you in trouble or something like this?
Actually, I don't recall any like story that was like complicated in terms of like misunderstanding, right? Like because that's the thing. The moment that there are like problems in understanding, they will switch to English and they will try to speak to you, try to understand you. So
what's the word that you still struggle to pronounce in Polish?
No, I have a trick. Oh, you have a trick. I discovered a trick in Polish. It's like my little.
You want to share it? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. This is funny because you know that our brains get information and autocomplete whatever they don't listen. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, maybe this works for Polish language. So if I speak very fast, instead of me trying to make the effort, I'm going to make the Polish people to make the effort to understand what I'm trying to say. And it fucking works. Because, for example, this is this place, the translation is like the square of all the saints. It's in the center of Krakow. It's a very difficult word for Spanish people. So every time that I try to speak it like slow, it's impossible. But if I say very fast, like everybody understands and say like, no, you do it very well. I'm just doing like the fastest I can. So your brain works instead of my brain trying to say the word.
Okay.
And this is my little Polish trick. If you want to speak
Of
Polish,
course.
speak it fast.
Speak it fast.
Yeah, because then you force the other people to make the differentiation in their brain.
Do you think that talking also about Polish people in general, obviously we are generalizing, right? It's very different, but do you think that it is true that Polish people are colder at the beginning, but then they're really quickly warming up?
Yeah. I think that obviously like they're a little bit colder than Latino or Mediterranean people. However, they are friendly. I mean, like, this is my experience, my personal experience. I cannot complain at all about anybody in Poland that treated me bad. All the opposite. I had like
I was not necessarily saying bad, but it's just it's a shock, right? Sometimes, because I remember, for example, on when I was going to the south of Spain or on any other places, because I'm from Catalonia, and now I understand much more why they call it Polacos to Catalans.
Yeah.
Because we are a little bit colder at the beginning, and then when we open up. If you go to, for example, Cordoba, Sevilla, or something like that.
People it's more like interacting and so on. Yeah, it's part of the culture and so on. But yeah, I think that there can be this small shock. But somehow I think that in general, Polish people are similar to Spanish people. Maybe I'm a little bit biased as well, because remember I was living in Finland, so I really have an experience of people that is like really colder. So for me, like, maybe the difference between Polish and Spanish is not that big as what I experienced between Spanish and Finnish.
Yeah.
So since you have like this greater scale, for me, I see like that Spanish people and Polish people are kind of similar in the trait. Like, maybe, as you say, like, they can be a little bit more reserved at the beginning, or a little bit more like distant, just a little bit. But very, very soon they open up, and very soon you can make friends with. I have a lot of like Polish friends I can call friends.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing with this band for many years. They were all like Polish guys and me. And I call them my friends. They're great guys, and went to the wedding of one of them and so on. So we really became friends.
Talking about the same stuff, like shocking differences between stuff. You mentioned that winters are like more and more difficult, every year. How do you prepare mentally and physically for the winter?
There is no way to prepare.
You think there's no way to prepare? It's just like it.
No, I mean, like, to be honest, it's not that bad anymore. Like, when I think about like some years ago, the winters were a lot harder, but it's only like mentally, like maybe the first winter that you spend out, it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. There is no.
Yeah.
Second winter is like, yes, no. Third winter, like, what the
hell? Again?
Yeah, again is no.
Yes, please.
So, no, I mean, it's like some months that the sun is not shining. It's very cloudy very often. It's cold, it's dark. It's not that bad, but when you're used to, that's the thing, like, this is the main difference. When you're used to be in the south of Spain, when during winter time, you can be...
How many days of sun do you have during the year? 300 something?
In Cartagena?
Yeah.
Basically, yes. It's every time sunny. Like... Sometimes my mother is complaining, like, it never rains here, like it rains once per year. It's like, it's blue sky all the time. So, but for example, the fact, like, because I'm used to street life, I think that in Spain, we're very used to be in the street. Like, even in winter, you take just one jacket, but you can be in the terrace of the bar, drinking your beer and so on.
Here you have to be very brave.
No, it's a no-go. And no, like, what I do is I don't prepare mentally, I prepare physically, meaning like I have like warm clothes. Like, there was time, like, to be honest, I was like very stupid, like, no, I don't want to ruin my hairstyle, so I'm not gonna wear a hat. Like, fuck it.
Okay, yeah.
Now, when it comes to winter, all the good gear, scarf, gloves, hats, and then you can survive.
Let's talk more about Poland and it's the evolution, because everything in your life, I guess it was an evolution from when you arrived the first time, right? What do you think about the economical, cultural transformation of Poland in those years?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, funny thing is, like, still, like, some people in Spain think that Poland is a country that it's behind, like like this kind of like post-Sovietic country.
Oh, you're like, everything is great, and the people are like
I remember one person, I will not mention
his
the
name,
connection, because the people that know me can know, but
better not.
This person came from another country to Poland, and he said, "Oh, I thought that in Poland they're still like going with the horses in the streets." Like, what the fuck? But the thing is, like, Poland has become one of the economies that grow the most in the European Union because of the corporation, and so on. The quality of life in Poland is very good. In the cities, at least, because when I speak about Poland, mostly I speak about Kraków because it's what I know. So I know that Poland is a very rural country, and I cannot speak that much about the villages. But when I speak about Poland, about Kraków, quality of life, it's very good. And you can see, even like you look at Kraków, you see like how many good restaurants, good cars, everything is good. So I think that Poland is doing great in terms of business. It's attracting a lot of attention in terms of business. And now there's going to be, like German companies, they're moving to Poland because still it's cheaper first it's cheaper and it's more flexible, the market here. So this is only good news for Polish people, because that means that Poland will keep attracting a lot of money. And you can see as well in the inflation, like I always say, like when I arrived to Poland, a beer cost around, like normal price for a beer, like 6 zloty. It's like 1 hour, 1.5 euro.
Yeah.
Now this price is a no-go. And if you find a beer for 12 zloty, that's almost like double. It's cheap. And the normal price is 17, 19,
22, 25 sometimes. Yeah.
And there are these prices because people is paying that, because salaries of many people went up. I know that this is not the case in every work sector in Poland. But on the other hand, it's always good, because when there is money in the economy, the money flows throughout. I mean, if there is people that is coming with very high salaries, these people spend money in restaurants, in
services,
education, blah blah blah. So in the end, it's a torrent of money that is coming from companies that are like American companies or Indian companies or whatever, coming here, and this flow of money soak into the society, which is very good. And it's something that Poland has been doing very good in the last years. And you can see like how even like if you go to Spain or you go on vacation, I don't know if you have this experience, but when I, like 10, 15 years ago, I was not very common to see Polish people on vacation in Spain.
It's true.
Now you go,
they were kind of escaping, actually. Yeah.
But because like Polish people could not afford, like, I'm going to be, I hope that nobody get offended by that, but like 10, 12 years ago, probably for a Polish family going to Spain, it was too expensive. Yeah. So some people could do it, but now it's not that expensive. It's a great, because like the economies have matched somehow.
Yeah.
So now it's like, let's go to Spain. It's cheap. You can get like cheap food. So
it's cheaper sometimes than
sometimes cheaper.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's great. Yeah.
I guess all your family and friends, they know already. How is your life here in Poland? Obviously, after this time, do you think Spanish people change or their perspective about Poland, or is kind of the same as before?
It's changing. I think that a lot of people is changing the mind already, like seeing that Poland is not that, poor post-Soviet country anymore, and it's getting ahead. Poland is the new Germany. You remember when we were like maybe like younger, and everybody was going to Germany for jobs? Yeah. Now it's Poland. Now a lot of people, it's going to Poland, because in Poland you can make a career, you can make money, you can actually make good money working in Poland. So I think that the perception is changing. Yeah.
What's let's say one achievement Poland got? I mean, after all these years, deserves more attention for the world, from the world.
The quality of life, I don't know, like generally speaking.
Safety, maybe.
Safety. Oh, that's a good point, because it's true that Poland. I cannot compare with Poland in the past, because since I'm in Poland, Krakow, it's one of the safest places I know. Like if you compare to Spain when I was a kid, it's like I'm not afraid about being in the street, and still like when I speak with female friends I have that they have lived in Poland and they have lived in Spain. This is maybe it's a perception, but this is what she told me. Like, yeah. I asked her, like, it's a person that lives in Badalona right now. She was living in Krakow. I asked her, like, do you feel like this difference of safety? And said, like, when I was in Krakow, I was walking along 4 a.m, 5, whatever, no fear, any neighborhood. I don't do that in Badalona. Like after 12, I take a taxi, because even if it's closed, I don't trust. So yeah, safety is a very thing. But again, I don't know if it's a new achievement, because like since I'm in Poland, I feel Krakow as an extremely safe place.
Yeah.
I love it, and I think that this is very important, because it's something that people don't consider. There is this thing when you're from Spain and you live in Poland, and a lot of people is probably that happened to you. Oh, why you're living? If you're from Spain, why you live in Poland?
It's the number one question. Yeah.
And it's like, there are like a lot of things that you don't understand because you take it for granted. That is like job. Yeah. In Spain, job seeking is a lot more difficult. Safety. I love the fact that I never worried about safety here.
You know, I mean, I got tired of this question at some point, so I decided to do it because it's fun.
Okay.
Because you get like you have to explain everything. I know it's kind of like kind of like trying to break the ice and everything, but sometimes it's a little bit.
Yeah, when you get the same question like 2,000 times, you get like, why you are living in Poland? Like, obviously, like see around. There is a lot of expats here. Why these people is living in Poland? Exactly. It's like something good.
And about Krakow, I think it's just I don't know any favorite or an amazing place in Krakow that you are very attached to?
There are like some. Okay, I'm gonna say one that it's more like personal, and other that I think that it's just great. The one that it's like great for everybody, I think that it's Forum. Forum, it's it's near to the river, and it's this place that in summer it's so crowded with people. Still, at least previous year was cheap. It has this vibe because it was this kind of like old Soviet hotel that never was working. So you have this kind of like post-Soviet vibe, but you are like enjoying like your beer, and there is food, and I don't know, it's very nice. You can see the sunset there. It's great. As well, like Krakow has these like kind of like beaches and lakes and so on that they are nice. And then on a more personal touch, I like very much one place called Staccato. It has a great community and a lot of like good activities, and it's a place where I feel like it's kind of like this concept that we have in Spain as the neighborhood bar. That you go there and you don't set up a meeting with friends. You just go there because you know that somebody will be there.
Yeah.
So I had this feeling with this place, right? Like if I don't have any plans, I have nothing to do. I just pass by the place, and I know that somebody from my friends will be there because it's the meeting point, and it's very, very nice. And
we know this place because both of us, but can you tell us more about this place? Yeah, I mean, what it is about, what it is a bar.
So it's a concept, like it's very interesting because it's a bar, but as well they have like a music school, but as well they make a lot of events. They're like very engaged with the cultural activities, like language exchange. So every day of the week they have some activity like language exchange or speed friending activities where people just go there to have fun. I was leading these speed friending activities for many months. Like every Friday, people just meet to play games, and it's nice, like, because it's you know what I told you. You come to a country, you don't have friends, and then there is a place that offers you an activity where a lot of people from a lot of countries can gather and do something all together. And same jam sessions that I love. I'm a musician, so I love jam sessions. So they have these jam sessions, and then they organize concerts, workshops, and what's not. So it's not only a bar. It's a step farther than a bar. And I think that they have managed to create this great culture and the great community, which is the best of the place. Yeah.
I think it will be like I think you agree if there will be a really good advice for newcomers to try to engage with these activities, right? With different people, because this is not only in this place, also it's happened everywhere, right? And it's something that it really shocked me since the beginning. We don't have, we have something like that in Spain, but it's like, at least in Barcelona, my hometown, it was not that often, I would say. But here is really normal thing.
Yeah, this is lovely about Krakow, that you can be bored. You come like randomly on a Wednesday, you start living here and you have absolutely nothing to do. You take Facebook, you go events today, and there are like karaoke parties,
salsa dancing,
board games, workshop of whatever. Like, and most of these things are free.
Yeah,
it's like
or maybe for a beer or something like that. You don't have to pay a ticket.
You go to the bar, and the only thing that they're asking you is like, the regular thing, like drink something in the bar. End of the story. But it's a great starting point. If you have, even like, I have done it like sometimes that suddenly I have nothing to do, I'm bored, and I don't want to stay home. Just take the phone. Okay, what activities? Oh, there is board games in this bar.
Let's go.
Boom. And there is people like you playing board games.
Yeah.
And sometimes you make friends. Sometimes they're like, people that you only interact this day. But it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah,
whatever.
Something to do. Tell me more about your upcoming projects. Whoa. Do you have any?
I have many, like always.
There's some project that you think is going to happen really soon, or you are focusing your energy actually more than...
Okay. Right now, my energy is going to music, mostly. I have 2 projects ongoing in the music world. That is my cover band, and that if you're in, I don't know if this is going to be published before the concert, but if not, I'm going to do promotion now.
Share it, please.
8th of March, we're going to be playing in Staccato. It's covers like from the 90s, and it's going to be a super fun concert. Songs from Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, Rihanna, all that
for
stuff.
90s kids.
It's gonna be like, like we designed the set list to be fun. Like every song is super known and you can sing all the songs, and it's gonna be like super fun concert. So this is one of the things. Like the band is called Some Days, and we're playing there in Staccato, 8th of March. Then other project I have is I'm building with some friends a band, a Spanish band with own songs, like indie rock band.
Okay.
I already have published a song. If somebody wants to go and check, the band name is Rai Tango. You can check it on
Spotify. I guess,
Thank you. Yeah, Spotify and YouTube as well. The song is called Vienna, and it's my first song. It's in Spanish, but I thought that it could be a fun idea to create an indie rock band in Spanish in Krakow. Let's see, because there is a lot of people that love Spanish language here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I have it's a project I started with Eduardo, a Colombian friend, and it's I think that it's gonna be super fun. And then business wise, right now I don't have anything in mind. I'm just keeping like my LinkedIn, like posting every day of the week. I try to post a little peel of any idea that crosses my mind about. Like the last post I made was about my experience when I was looking for a job, if this can be helpful for somebody that is struggling, or as I mentioned, experience that people tell me. I had a friend telling me like how he feels like very demotivated at work and why. So I created a little post about how bad leadership is killing engagement in employers and stuff like this. So this is basically what I have in my mind right now, is like music and this LinkedIn thing post. So if somebody wants to pass by and check it, my LinkedIn is Borja Marin Rosas.
Okay. Yeah, we will put everything after that. Talking about now is the last block actually. One of the almost finished. I want to a little bit your knowledge about Poland, but not really complicated. Not really complicated. Don't worry. It's like, do you know many Polish traditions, or do you kind of like embrace some Polish traditions?
I know some. Yeah. I don't know if I would say I embrace, but yeah. I
do you feel comfortable with that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And what's your advice for someone who wants to navigate the corporate world in Poland?
The advice for someone who wants to, basically, there are a lot of opportunities. Work on yourself. Be good with your priorities, and be constant.
Okay. Now the last thing will be like the rapid fire questions, which is basically like some funny questions about you, to know a little bit more about you and what the things. Favorite neighborhood in Kraków?
Zapocie.
Mm-hmm. If you could import one Kraków tradition to Spain, what will be?
I know that there is better, but the first thing that came to my mind is pierogi. It's not a tradition.
Pierogi ruskie? Or any kind of pierogi?
Any kind of pierogi.
Okay. What's your favorite Polish or not karaoke song when you are out with your friends?
Okay, so my favorite not Polish song is something like Linkin Park, because I think that my voice matches that. No. I changed my answer. The song of Mulan, the soundtrack of Mulan, like I'll make a man out of you. This song, I love to sing this song in karaoke. And Polish one, I don't sing it. But there is this Czerwone Korale, and when my friends sing that song, I always try to follow the lyrics.
Okay.
They're impressed because I can kind of read them.
Yeah, fast, right? I told me.
I don't know what the hell I'm saying,
but you have to talk fast. What's the most Polish thing you do now without even thinking?
Probably like having lunch at 12.
Secret weapon for surviving a Kraków winter?
Thermal pants.
Oh, interesting.
It's not sexy,
but it's warm.
It keeps you warm.
What's a Polish corporate norm you wish Spain will adopt?
Flexibility in terms of working from home and being a little bit more, open-minded to new technologies and the future.
And if your life in Kraków, your experience in Kraków will be a music genre, what will it be?
Folk metal.
And that's it. That's basically we finished the podcast here. Thank you very much. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. Thank you very much for that opportunity. And I'm very, I would say like happy that you invited me, like very honored, like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And for the last thing, what is you mentioned before, but what is your social media, your links that you want to share with us?
Okay, so I want to share, like, if somebody wants to follow me in my personal Instagram account, it's not very fun, but sometimes I'm posting stuff there. It's at Borja downbar Maros.
Mm-hmm.
My professional place is in the LinkedIn, Borja Marin Rosas. That's my full name. And then music-wise, I have a couple of projects. Rai Tango is my indie rock project. Before, I had another project, is Saint Beles, if someone is more metal. So I invite people just to check what I've been doing. and my cover band. Some days we are on Instagram as well, and I think that this is as well. I will share like some of my past projects. Like Corporate Cat is some series of YouTube videos that I made talking about corporation. I have this project a little part, but was very interesting. And as well like Business Noir project that we had together. That's a series of interviews helping people to set business. I think that they are like very interesting as well, that you can find in Spotify and YouTube.
I think so, yeah. Well, I mean, you have a lot of things, so I will have I will have a lot of things to put on the description box. But definitely, if you remember something else, you can send it to me, and I will really gladly post it there for people who wants to meet you, who wants to just to actually to follow you on these social medias and the projects that you're doing, which is great, because I think is a really nice way to contribute to the community. And that's it. I wish you the best day and the best experience the next week and the following weeks.
Thank you. That was very, very nice. It's a very great experience. First time I get interviewed. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to see the result. And
exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Bye.
Welcome back to the last section, the section where I improvise and I talk about different things about the podcast, about how is it going, and it's completely optional. If you want to stick to the interview, it's up to you, but if you want to stay and listen to this section, it's more free, it's more talking about my experience, my ideas, and how is it going. So let's begin. I want to start with the editing about the podcast. It's taking more time than expected, but it's getting better. So that's why I need to improve a lot of things about production, about the sound quality and everything, because it takes a lot of time and still is not great. Well, I'm still using the old microphones, so for sure it will be better in the next ones, but still I have other interviews what I recorded with the same microphone. So I'm thinking I will change also the place I'm doing the podcast, because there's a lot of echo, and the place is amazing, but honestly I cannot have more problems with the audio because it's getting annoying even for me. So I'm not especially very picky with the audio, but now it's getting super weird. But it's fine. I mean, I'm gonna improve slowly. It's something that I'm doing in my free time because I want to do that until I get tired of this, or maybe just I don't have time. So let's see. But anyways, it's getting very interesting to meet these people and to talk with them. I'm preparing everything and I'm getting more and more professional. Well, this section today is going to be very, very short because I don't have a lot of things to do, basically because I'm working on improving different stuff that I told you before, but I didn't do it yet, both because I have a lot of things to do, and also there is a lot of things I need to learn, especially about the audio editing and recording. But that's it. Basically, I'm still looking for more people and trying to get attached to my preferences about what I want to communicate here. So it takes some time, but I'm trying to find new people for the interviews. But in general, it's going good. I'm having a lot of fun. Well, I'm doing a lot of things on Instagram. I'm improving Instagram and YouTube, the presentations, and all the promotional material. which I will be posting very soon and more often. So creating a calendar, it's very important, especially not to get lost in terms of what I publish, what I didn't. And so I want to be more regular. And it's always a challenge to manage everything, manage the podcast, the recording, everything, the audio, the video, the social media. Is a lot of work, but also it's very fun. So I don't complain about it. And for now is what I want to do, is basically do all by myself and trying to have some fundings from other people. So, but let's see, I'm still waiting a little bit more to have more experience and more like trajectory with the podcast, and I will start looking for someone or looking for some more new collaborations and people who can improve and add something, some value to the podcast. And this is for now everything I want to say today. It's going to be very short because I don't have a lot of things to say. I'm more thinking about what I want to do. And thank you for your attention. Thank you for being here. I will be posting more content very soon. And if you like it, so you can just send me a message. You can send me feedbacks. If you're interested to participate, send me a message as well. And see you very soon. Have a good one.